I'm Alex Gosselin. I use pronouns she, her. I'm a therapist and embodied movement educator. There's no need to divulge your whole life history right away to a therapist. So I even notice myself taking a sigh. Oftentimes, folks might feel maybe pressure, maybe from what we've heard on the news or media about what it means to access therapy. But in my mind, therapy is a relationship, and it's going to take time for the person to feel a little bit more comfortable, a little safer to go into the past. And going into the past also isn't always necessary to see change right now. There might be good reasons that a person might be mindful not to share particular things, and through therapy, we might get curious about, what function that's serving for the person, honoring that, and really taking our time, right? And supporting the person and feeling a sense of control and choice throughout the process of therapy. And so, no, you don't got to tell me your whole life story right away. We can take our time. I definitely experience working with trauma through the lens that trauma can mean a lot of different things to a lot of people. Sometimes it's like a state-specific event. And for others, it's repeated stress over time, whether that be interpersonal stress or oppression based on maybe social conditions or things like that. And so I do enjoy working with folks who have some experience with trauma somewhere on that spectrum, whether that be a state-specific trauma or more commonly, I would say the folks that I work with might identify with complex trauma, which is actually more repeated stress over time. And the way I work with that is through the lens of understanding that sometimes when we experience a stress, it's like it's too much, too soon, too fast for our nervous system, right? And so the body then begins to adapt to that stress in a particular way. And so whether it be perfectionism or checking behaviors or whatever it is, or serving a particular function that allowed that person to get through that stress. And so part of our work together might be exploring that function and honoring the purpose that it served, and that being one of the ways to help choose other options. A checking behavior would be like that hypervigilance, right? So like I'm feeling, maybe I'm needing to know what's around me at all times, or maybe I got to check to see if I locked my door multiple times, or frequent hand washing. That type of stuff might be, that could be considered a checking behavior. Checking sounds so much better than compulsion to me. It's like a compulsion is like, oh, that's a problem that you have. Whereas a checking behavior is more like, oh, this is something that I'm trying to do to keep myself safe. And then in therapy, we honor that, and we don't want to necessarily get rid of that. We do, however, want to explore how it might be getting in the way of other things that are important to that person.